and welcome to the True Friends podcast, a behind-the-scenes podcast of True Friends, a play by Aaron Lee. I'm Aaron, and this is my co-producer and true friend Avril Duck.
We want to give you an insight into the hard work, effort and passion, the real heart and soul behind this new theatre work.
This podcast is going out to our friends, families and supporters, theatre people, people with a disability and just about anyone who wants to hear the best parts of us.
That's Aaron's insatiable curiosity.
And Avril's radical everyone-ism.
We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we work and live, and recognise their continuing connection with land, water and community.
We pay respects to elders past, present and emerging.
Arts Nexus Studio broadcasts from the traditional lands of the Wanyamajay people located on Majanji country.
Eats up, oop, eep, eats. Hello, my name is Aaron Lee.
And I'm Avril Duck, and this is
the True Friends podcast.
And today's episode is called Testing. So Aaron, what's this episode all about?
This is about going to Warrie State High School and the FNQ One Act Play Festival.
So let's talk about Warrie High School. Tell the listeners what we did there. First of all, let's talk about the contact that you made with the high school drama teacher.
I got to talk to Claire Williams, a drama teacher from Warrie State High School.
Everybody, why did we choose Warrie High School as a place to go and test out your play?
Because I was a former student at Warrie State High School from 2007 to 2011.
So it was really just getting back into the high school groove, I guess.
Yes.
And returning, being a returned student, an alumni, if you like.
Yeah.
Showing, yeah. So what we did was we had 3 different workshops of about 2 hours each, and we read some scenes. We then explored those scenes physically, and then we kind of set them in a way so that we could present them to another audience. How many students did we have, and what kind of year levels?
20 students roughly from year 7 to 10.
Yeah, and they weren't all actors. So most of them were actors. But who else did we have there?
A technical student doing the sound and lighting learning.
Yeah, and I think you were quite helpful with her, weren't you?
Yes.
As well? So we basically sat down and we gave out the scripts. Which scenes did we read through with them? Because with only 6 hours, we couldn't read the whole play.
Depression, working at a chemist and university in Adelaide.
Yeah, so depression is the first scene, and this is really interesting because it was the beginning of the development, or there were some ways that we developed depression through, first of all, the creative development, which we will have to talk about in more depth, which came before this Warrie High School one. And then we developed the approach through Warrie High School, and then we developed further in the One Act Play Festival rehearsals. So this testing is not just about testing the script and whether people like it, but it's also about opportunities for me as a director to find different approaches to the scenes.
Yeah.
What did we do so that, what did we do with, what did that look like, that depression scene, when the Warrie High School students did it?
I got to see a student counting 1, 2,
that's right,
3, 4, 5, 6 while the violin music was playing.
Yeah. And there were they were in teams of 2 or 3, and one of them was on the ground. They had like a
rug.
a rug or a sheet or a blanket.
Sheet, blanket.
Yeah. And then they kind of writhed in that, and the other one was the kind of director, so they would show them what to do, and they really explored being under a sheet and what shapes they could make with it. The idea being that, you know, the depressed character of Sheena at the start of the play can't get out of bed. Yeah. And then the counting 1, 2, 3, 4, that was like literally the director of one of the groups. She just walked around the other student counting so that the other student would know the timing correctly. But it looked really intense, didn't it? I don't know, like it looked quite intense with her circling and circling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we kind of explored that circling round the other person.
Then we did the working at Chemland scene.
Yes, where they were all
Stucking the shelves.
That's it. And it has like they had arguments with the manager at some point. I don't know. That was just like exploration out of the play.
Yeah.
But that was like those students got to explore being new workers at a new chemist.
Yeah.
And how they might feel about that.
Yeah. Then we got to go to the University of Adelaide scene, and I got to play the fanfare music going do 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 do.
For the entry of who?
Prince Kath and Prince Bob.
I know, these characters, they suddenly turn up. So the 2 main characters end up going to Adelaide University, and they're doing a rehearsal, and in their process, Princess Kath and Prince Bob show up. I don't know who these people are, but they're fun.
I was on fire when I wrote it.
Creativity. The students loved doing that, didn't they?
Yes.
They loved the 2 who were chosen for Princess Kath and Prince Bob. They loved coming in the door with this grand gesture. Had a great time.
Yeah.
We did then present these little little explorations to an audience. And then the other students gave some feedback verbally.
Yes.
The ones who watched them. And one of the comments was it wasn't long enough, so that was pretty cute. I like that. They wanted more.
Yeah, so if we want more, we have to give them more, maybe at Warrie or Bentley Park College.
Yeah, and more hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was an anecdote that you were telling me on the way here that you remembered about. So when we do a workshop, we'll do a check-in process first.
Yes.
And so that check-in process, sometimes it's just there to spark the imagination of the actors.
Yeah.
And do you know what I'm talking about?
Let's see. So I got to, Avril asked the students, what do you want to be when you grow up? And one of the students said, I want to be a police officer. And Avril said, yes, you don't have to sign your name in my blood right there. I'm not going to come at you 20 years later going, hey, why aren't you a police officer yet?
And that quite tickled you, didn't it? It was writing your name in blood for, what you're going to do as it 20 years later.
Yeah.
So, we explored that. I really enjoyed exploring with those students, like what in their future they could imagine themselves doing.
Yeah.
Because some kids do it and some don't. Sometimes it's like, oh, here's the future and I've never thought about what I could possibly be. And we took them to university, at least what our version of it was, the True Friends version.
Yeah.
And then finally, at the end of it all, we had a lovely little presentation to some other students, and then we went and had a visit to...
We got to visit the diverse learning faculty.
Oh, that's right, the diverse learning faculty. And it used to be called the special.
the special education unit.
And it was pretty much the same as when you got there, but there were a few changes. As when you
Yes.
were studying there, but there's a few changes.
Yes. The reflection room, which was formerly Miss Manami's classroom, and then we had another classroom which was Mrs. Vincent classroom, a teacher, and then another classroom where I was with Mrs. Cullick. Now, in that room where Mrs. Cullick's room used to be, now there's desks and computers. Before that, I had a computer room at the special education unit.
So things had changed, even though they sort of did look a bit the same. But was it good going back, Aaron?
Yes, the art store was my personal dressing room for the Safe Swim program. That was my art cupboard / dressing room.
It was great to have a bit of a insight into your high school experiences, Aaron. So that's what I did enjoy about that as well.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the FNQ ATA One Act Play Festival.
We got to go to Hambledon House. We booked Hambledon House for the rehearsals, and then every Tuesday we would meet with the cast. But here's the thing: we had some cast malfunctions, and the cast had glitches, so we had to find new cast.
Yeah, so Hambledon House is in Edmonton, so it's very close to where you live. You actually used to walk there, didn't you?
Yes, I used to walk there every Monday to get the key.
And then every Tuesday to do the rehearsal.
Yeah.
And it's run by Mission Australia. Thank them very much for their excellent offering of us the space. Because it's a community project, they gave the space to us for free. And it was really a lovely space to rehearse in, because it had, kitchen and toilets, and then it was a nice different tables to use, and there was a lot of it was a good facility, and also there was a lot of interest from the people at Mission Australia in what we were doing, so that we got lots of visits, didn't we?
Yes.
So we rehearsed every Tuesday for about, I think, probably 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And we did, what scenes did we do?
Depression, hipster cafe, working at Chemland interview, working at Chemland, truck unload stock, and then we did the vampire scene.
That's it. And we also had to take out a whole lot of scenes.
And basically squeeze the bejesus out of them to basically convert it into a montage.
Yeah. So instead of being like 4 different scenes,
we had to compress the bejesus, every last bit of performance out of the scene.
And it lasted about 30 seconds.
Yeah, into a montage.
Yeah. And that's where they did like hugging and dancing, and that's why you say it's the bejesus out of it, because we didn't get to dance at the chemist shop, which was a feature of the, beginning of the play, but we just didn't have enough time. And like Aaron said, we also had some casting issues. So casting-wise, we had a lot of people from Tropical Arts turn up for us. So Fuji and Michael, and then there was also Anne came back from a long time ago. She was part of Tropical Arts, and a young woman called Jada. And we had some newcomers. So Kathleen came along and she was part of it. And so was Karina part of it.
Yep.
And Joy, of course, was part of Tropical Arts. Very important. She's Mrs. Nomani's daughter.
Yes.
So there's a connection between the Warri High and the Hambledon House. And then what happened? Can you remember what happened next?
Then we had to rehearse, and then we got to put the play on at Bulimbajar Arts Centre.
Yes, but before we got there, I was just sort of alluding to the cast issues that we had.
Yeah, we had a couple of cast malfunctions and we had to replace.
Yeah,
The
so that's what
casts.
happens in community theatre, right? Is
Yeah.
that people, well, actually, it can happen in any kind of job or environment where people, so the first one was that we'd selected Jada and Anne to be the main characters of Sheena and Lucy, and Jada got a job.
Yes.
Congratulations, Jada, but that meant that she was on call and she couldn't commit to the time frames of the play. So she told us straight away. And so we're like, okay, don't worry, we'll find someone. And then I started to search and we went through another 2 different actors who were really keen, but for one reason or another couldn't make it. And then Anne, who was playing Lucy, actually had a heart attack. She literally had a heart attack. And so she was out for about 6 weeks and finally came back in at the end. So we had to kind of rehearse around this. And eventually we went and got Lou Van Rixort, who's been in True Friends before, and she's a tropical artser. And we also brought Hansi on board in the music department.
Yeah.
And backstage we had support from Karina's support workers. Kathleen eventually went backstage and I eventually came on stage, didn't I?
Yes.
You were on stage, I was on stage, and Kirsten Lovett, Kirsten from Tropical Arts, she also came to help us backstage. So we had a great team.
Yeah.
And it was a really fun set. Did you like the set?
Yes, I enjoyed the set for the One Act Play Festival, but down the track I want to have counters on wheels, if that's possible, for the touring version of True Friends and the full version. I want to have counters on them are wheels and the aisles on wheels so it's easily movable.
Yeah, well, I liked the boxes though because they're light, right?
Yes, can we keep
and
that?
then you can stack them inside each other.
Yes.
And we painted them teal.
Yeah.
Very nice colour. And that was because it was a really nice chemist shoppy looking colour.
Yeah.
And it was easy to reconfigure them into different forms.
Yes.
They sort of structured the space, but they were really easy. They weren't expensive, and they were, as I said, stackable and recyclable. So I liked that part of them. But it was one development.
Yes.
One development, that we had. What do you think that the performance was like? Did you get the sense that the audience liked that one act play performance?
Yes.
Yeah? It lasted quite a while. I think it was over 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And we did up until the vampire scene.
Yeah.
And we had feedback from Sue Ellen Maunder from Jute, because it was the One Act Play Festival.
Yeah.
Which is an annual event in Far North Queensland, FNQ, Far North Queensland Amateur Theatricals Association One Act Play Festival. Happens once a year. And there were groups from different places all around the place, and True Friends was representing Tropical Arts and Aaron's play. And it was a really nice, well-received thing. And Sue Ellen only had praise for us.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you listen to the feedback later?
No.
At the time you were trying to listen to it.
Yeah.
I think she really liked can you talk about the spinning waiter?
I enjoyed the spinning waiter. Yes, I'm basically seeing potential with it, and I want to try and keep it, if possible, with brand new actors and that.
That's what the exploration is, and the testing that we do. It's the testing of the material and how we can present it. So this spinning waiter, the waiter doesn't have many lines or a huge big role, and we only see the waiter in one scene. But the character of the waiter is this spinning top, and it enlivens the scene, and it made it a really good way to explore that scene instead of just being kind of a static cafe scene. It had a really new vibe because of Karina's beautiful spinning action, and it really captivated the audience too.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I think I want to call it the Ballet Cafe.
Oh, the hipster ballet cafe.
Yes, and plus of course, down the track, can we get some ballerinas into ballerina costumes?
Yeah. Tutus, that's what they're called. Yeah.
Yes, I want to try some.
Creative juices are flowing.
Yeah, can we try that?
I'll put it down on my book there, tutus. And that's how we develop it, folks. That's what we do. We get ideas, we test them out, then they kind of take on a life of their own, and we put our inputs more in.
Yes.
We also have been very busy in the last the last month or so writing grants. So tell people about the grants that we've been writing.
We have been writing grants for the Cassowary Coast Regional Council to basically pay a filmmaker to make the True Friends movie that we're going to, for the Con Theatre and that.
And before that, so we applied for CCR, Cassowary Coast, RADF. And
Regional Council and the Cairns Regional Council, RADF.
Yeah, that's right. And the Cairns Regional Council, RADF, was hopefully, wish us luck, hopefully, grant writing for the arts. It's small amounts of money, but it enables you to do things. Right. So I've just written down tutus as an idea for what we could do.
Yes.
Or what you could do when you're writing the scene. Did you want to change that cafe name? Don't have to decide right now.
No.
Think about it.
Yes.
But that's what it's all about, is like testing ideas and trying to get us to a point where we can really be confident about doing the full version, because we've tested it in various different locations. So just let's do a little bit of a thank you, a roundup of thank you to all those cast. First of all, to Warrie High School and Claire Williams and all the students at the, what was they called? The Drama Club?
Yeah. Thanks.
And also to our
you have all done really incredibly well, and you should all be very proud of yourselves.
Okay. And I'm going to say thank you to Douglas Robbins, who's president of Tropical Arts and the Committee of Tropical Arts, for organising the One Act Play Festival. And also, at Bullumbajar, so obviously Eben, who we've had on the podcast before, was very helpful to that whole process.
Thanks to the Hambledon House for letting us use the space. I enjoyed going there every Monday and getting the key and doing the rehearsals at night time.
And our cast, which was Catherine Jeffries, Avril Duck and Aaron Lee, Michael Oster, Jada Crossman. So Jada didn't make it to the stage, but she started off our Sheena character. Fuji, Sato and Clark Corina, and the spinning waitress.
Yes.
Sasha Cassidy Murray, she came and read for us, but she also didn't make it to the stage because she, and then Kirsten Lovett, who helped backstage. So thank you to all those people, and thank you anyone who was involved in really organising that One Act Play Festival.
You have all put in a lot of hard work, effort and passion into this, and you should all be very proud of yourselves.
Yeah, well, I didn't thank Lou Van Rixort, who was actually the final actor for Sheena, and who was very well praised. Everyone liked her acting that character.
Yes. And
Hansi, Johannes Selhofer, who was the musician for the show.
Yes.
Lots of thank yous. So the future, we just wrote 2 grants. One was
Cairns Regional Council.
RADF, Regional Arts Development Fund.
Yeah.
And we were looking for $10,000 to take True Friends.
To Innisfail.
Yeah, so we're going to take the workshop to Innisfail next year. The plan is 6 weeks in the beginning of the year, and we're going to explore different scenes.
Yes.
And explore it with the community there. And we also applied for a
Cassowary Coast Regional Arts Development Fund to basically pay a filmmaker to make a movie about the True Friends play.
and the process of making it in Innisfail.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's a really exciting project. So, you know, I got my fingers crossed, Aaron, that we get those grants.
Yes.
You can't guarantee these things. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't stop. We keep going, Aaron and I, don't we?
Yes.
We're hardworking.
Yeah.
You crack the whip.
That's of course breathing down the neck.
Yes. Aaron loves this whole, you know, making sure that we get things done. And the grant writing process with two of us like that was really much more enjoyable.
Yes.
Yeah, because you know, Aaron's skills and my skills are quite complementary.
Yep.
Or passions and things that we're good at.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much covering everything that we needed to cover today, Aaron.
Yes.
Anything else you'd like to say?
Nope.
Thanks, Arts Nexus.
Bye.
See you later. Well, that's about all we have time for.
Thank you everyone for listening to our podcast.
If you've enjoyed this podcast, please consider subscribing to our Patreon to be part of getting this production
onto a stage near you.